purport. The narration of Kapila Deva and his mother Devahuti is so perfect and transcendental that even if one only hears or reads this description, he achieves the highest perfectional goal of life, for he engages in loving service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no doubt that Devahuti, who had the Supreme Lord as her son and who followed the instructions of Kapila Deva so nicely, attained highest perfection of human life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the third canto, 33rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Activities of Kapila, end of third canto. So Lord Kapila is said to be staying in this material world in trance, and all the acharyas, they worship him. And further it is said that anyone who hears these discourses will definitely get perfection of life, and one would enter the abode of the Supreme Lord to engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord. So there are few points that surfaces up in this connection of Kapila Muni staying here. This material world is known to be temporary, yet it is, when it is manifest, it is a real activity of the Supreme Lord. So just because the names, forms, activities in the material world of the living entities, they don't have the sanctity of being eternal, yet that temporary display of name, form, etc. in this material world by the material energy, in the form of three gunas, is a real activity of the Lord. Lord is the owner of three gunas. In fact, it is said that Lord takes up these three gunas. And that is how this entire material world is running. So in the beginning of spiritual life, one may say matter and spirit, we differentiate. No doubt Jiva Shakti is spirit, and the material energy is what is surrounding us. Because the energy that is surrounding us in the material world, basically it is designed to facilitate forgetfulness of who we are, and it is designed to give us independent rasa as per the karma, laws of karma. This is the Lord's Leela. Entire creation of the material world also is the Lord's Leela. Leela for what? Leela with the jivas, to facilitate the jivas' independent existence, independent knowledge, independent joy. So independent existence, because constitutionally we are servant of Krishna, you can't have independent existence. You can have independent existence only through a false ego, a ego that is not ego, through a false ego. So all the sense of I that we feel independent is a false ego, it is not real ego. So that false ego is hunting our real ego. So our real ego takes on the dress of a false ego. So all this is facilitated by the material energy in the form of three modes of material nature, three guna. It's very important for us to understand when we are aiming to go back to Godhead, when you are aiming to go to the spiritual world, we have to understand that this material world is also Krishna's material world. It is a real energy display of activities of the Supreme Lord. Material creation, maintenance, annihilation, millions and billions of living entities are being churned within the material world. And some of them, one of the possible destination for the living entity who is rotating in different species of life in this material, huge, immeasurable material universe, immeasurable number of jivas. Out of that, one possibility is that some jivas will get liberated, who come up to human form of life and then they get liberated. When they get the human form of life to get liberated, Lord has designed a facility for that, for the living entities. That facility is his different incarnations. His facility is just like it says that Lord Kapila is staying there in trance even now, and all the acharyas worshipping. For the deliverance of the conditioned souls, he stays here. So in the same way, in our context, we cannot take it lightly. It has a great significance. When Prabhupada said, I eternally live in these 2 rooms in Radha Damodar temple. Again, why is he staying there? For deliverance of the conditioned soul in the 3 worlds. So Prabhupada is eternally residing there. We are so fortunate. That is why Prabhupada said that, it's not that, Prabhupada has expressed his ideas, his desire so clearly that he would continue to guide the living entities through his books. That people will study my books for next 10,000 years. So Prabhupada is in one. Here Prabhupada is living, Kapila Muni is living in trance. Those who go there get blessed. Srila Prabhupada is also living in Radha Damodar temple. And then he is also in his books, in his words. So in so many different ways, Prabhupada is continuing his Leela in this material world for our sake. So if somebody asks, suppose after reading the Leelas of Devahuti and Kapila, somebody asks, is Kapila even now residing in this world? You will say yes. Where is he? You will say, you will tell the spot also, what is described. Do we have faith if somebody says, is Prabhupada there on this earth? We will only say he is there in his books. But it is a fact that Prabhupada said, I eternally live. So where is he? So our answer should be, he is in Radha Damodar. Not to take it lightly, that place. As one of the other, so many temples are there, so like that, one temple. Prabhupada used to pray to Radha Damodar also. He writes in many places. He used to feel separation when he went to America from Vrindavan Dham and deities. So Prabhupada saw something else which we didn't see. Transcendental vision he had in that wonderful place. So we all should take, we are all blessed that we have an opportunity there to serve Srila Prabhupada and to tell the world that Prabhupada resides there. Tell the world that Prabhupada resides there. Just like Bhagavatam is describing the Leela of Lord Kapila, and in the end it says Kapila is staying there. The same way when we describe Prabhupada's Leela, we have to end by saying that Prabhupada is residing in Radha Damodar temple. And if we feel that, then we take good advantage, take a lot of inspiration from going and sitting before Prabhupada and chanting one round, doing some menial service for Prabhupada. Our plan is also to eventually offer seva to the Rupa Goswami Samadhi Mandir, Bhajan Kutir, Jiva Goswami's Samadhi, where our devotees will offer Arati 3 times a day, our brahmacharis. Arrangement is being done so that 10-15 brahmacharis, Prabhupada said 20 actually. Prabhupada said 20 brahmacharis should stay there, he said. So every program, from morning Mangalarti to everything we can do there. And today the Goswamis are very happy. They are waiting. Prabhu, aap kar dijiye. So first we are creating accommodation for this brahmacharis there. We are buying some buildings nearby. We create the accommodation for brahmacharis. And then from all our centers by rotation, brahmacharis will be there and serve Prabhupada and the Goswamis. So very fortunate for us to get all these opportunity. Doors are open for us to do all these things. And Prabhupada will be, Prabhupada is to say, Prabhupada has said that the Goswamis, the 6 Goswamis, even now, they meet there to discuss the worldwide preaching. The original GBCs are 6 Goswamis. That means GBC meeting happens there in Radha Damodar temple. So in that spirit, after I heard that, in the 2nd floor, I'm creating one GBC room for GBC meetings. A big hall. And also library, where all the books of Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they are in different places now. We want to bring them all there. At one time, there were 500 books, manuscripts, everything. This was about maybe 30 years back. And somehow or the other, we know what is the value of it. All those were given to the government, and the government opened one institute. What is the name of that institute? Government is running that institute, Sri Jiva something. Government is paying for the premises and all that. So all these things are stored there. How safe it is, I do not know. Many manuscripts were also given. So another thing that yesterday we did not finish discussing. Dear Vidura, the material elements of our body have melted into water and are now a flowing river, which is the most sacred of all rivers. Anyone who bathes in that river attains perfection, and therefore all persons who desire perfection go bathe there. So, her mortal body, Martyam, Martyam, material elements, Martyam, her mortal body, became a river. And that river is flowing. Those who seek perfection should go and bathe there. So how do we understand this? If you take the material elements of Devahuti's body, the limited material energy, how it can go on flowing forever? How it can go on flowing forever? Matter, something flows from here, it goes away, there is nothing here, isn't it? So there is a way to understand all these things. As we discussed yesterday, ultimately the entire material world, what we say, has to be seen as an energy. And the energy is directed by the Supreme Lord. To do what? To create effects. To create effects. We say Ganges is, falling from the top of the universe onto the Himalayas and then flowing down. But you don't see anything up. So what you see, what you don't see is not what proves things. What is to be seen will be made seen by the Lord. So there is no, as far as Lord is concerned, or as pure devotees are concerned, there is no rigidity of material energy. Whatever they want the material energy to do, will do. Whatever the Lord wishes, it will happen. So yesterday we discussed how material energy, when we say material world, it is an effect of the energy. Who causes this effect? Mayadekshena suyate sacharacharam. He says, Krishna himself says, that under my direction, everything is running. So 3 modes of material nature is called gunas. Sometimes we say this material world of 3 gunas. Very aptly described. Material world as qualities, not as a substance. The material energy is described as 3 qualities, 3 qualitative mode, not as a substance. Then what is substance? Substance is in the spiritual world. That is also another manifestation of Krishna's energy. But that is spirit substance. In the spiritual world, if there is a body, it's a real body. In the material world, if this body is there, it is an effect of something. It's a phenomena. That's why this world is called phenomenal world. Something you can, You call it as a reductionist world. You can reduce what is behind, what is behind, what is behind. Spiritual world, there is no reductionism. Everything is absolute. Every point is absolute. Every substance is absolute. Absolute doesn't mean it's not dynamic. It's dynamic also. Krishna himself, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam, he can take. So in the material world, there is internal energy, there is external energy, and the outside, in the spiritual world, there is internal energy. That's why in Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, nicely everything is explained. There is Vishnu Tattva, then there is this Jiva Tattva, then there is internal energy, external energy of the Lord. So in that sense, if you see, it's a very special effect. We are in the spiritual world only. Material world means also spiritual world only. But its effect is different upon the consciousness. Adhyatmik, Adidaivik, all these kleshas are there. Adidaivik kleshas are there. That nobody can avoid. That is the nature of this material world. It is meant to give that effect to the living entities. So in other words, in one sense, the display of material energy and the spiritual energy, both are real energies of the Lord. This is a significant teaching of Madhvacharya, that this world is real. It's a real activity of the Lord. Different living entities are put in different bodies as devatas. They also are running this material world in the interim state. Millions and millions of jivas are there. So by the will of the Lord, if a river is flowing from the elements of the mortal body of Mother Devhuti, it can go on flowing, because that flowing itself is an effect. Everything is an effect. One way of coming out of bodily concept is to see all the bodies as effect. There are two things. When you see an effect, you don't see it as a substance. Is it not? Suppose you have an exploded view of yourself. In one shot you are able to see your body is changing very fast. Then you will not identify with your body. Now the change you cannot make out. Nittle by nittle. So you think I am the body. Suppose it's changing very fast, then you won't assign a substance or identity to it. It is not a thing, you will say. So the reality is that everything in this material world is an effect. This body which we think is me is an effect. But you are eternal. How can you be a changing thing? You are not an effect. Soul is not an effect. Soul is an absolute person. But this body is an effect. And it is an effect in time. And this is the Shastric way of seeing this material world. The scriptural way of seeing persons. You see animals, you see male, you see female. The soul should be separated and you see the effect around them, including our own self. Is an effect of a material energy upon me that is changing. I am not, how can I be this? How can I be effect? This perception Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita when he says, Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. He is trying to show that the body is an effect. It is not a vastu, it is an effect. Vastu means it's unchanging. that which endures, that is vastu, that is absolute substance. So in the material world there is no vastu at all. There is appearance of vastu. From the undifferentiated energy, Mahatattva, Pradhana of the Lord, these varieties are created which appear like vastu. Because in the spiritual world I have a body. So here three modes of material nature creates a body which is effect, which is not body, which is effect. That's the Prabhupada. You go to the spiritual world, you get an eternal body, not an effect. Because everything there is vastu. Everything there is absolute. So this chapter ends by saying that those who hear this description of Kapiladeva and Mother Devahuti, they enter the abode of the Supreme Lord to engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord. So the entire existence, people keep asking what is existence, what is absolute truth, everything. But the conclusion of Bhagavatam is that you cannot figure out the extent of the opulence of the Lord and His energy, and it is unlimited. You can choose to be a servant of Krishna or you can choose to be here. You are eternally small. You are eternally small. There is no question of in perfection of life you will become something big. In the material world, everything means, even get into spiritual life, the tendency is to think that, I will achieve the greatest. So the result of real spiritual advancement is, greatest achievement is to realize that I am the smallest. So you think you achieve perfection because yogis, I want to achieve perfection. End of it, if you really have succeeded in reaching the destination, then you understand that you are insignificant, servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. That is perfection of life. That is perfection of life. Questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Actually, Prabhupada says that he is like FM, who is present simultaneously everywhere. Prabhupada is like FM, which is present simultaneously everywhere. FM.
Okay.
Yes. But now you said that he says he is eternally present in Radha Damodar temple.
Yeah.
So is it that the degree of his presence is more or less everywhere? The degree of his presence is more or less, or it is same?
You see, just like electricity is all over the wire, but when it comes into the bulb, you are able to, it is specifically manifesting extra energy. There is only flowing. But if you want, you can put a bulb there also. So, Krishna, Prabhupada, they are all over. Now, it does not necessarily mean that Prabhupada does not reside there in one particular form, in a very specific way, for a specific activity in Radha Damodar. So, that is also a fact, and that is different from, you can say, bulb is different from presence of electricity in the wire, and presence of electricity in the bulb is different, we can say. So in the same way, the Lord is all pervading. Same thing about the deity also. Lord is all pervading. Prabhupada says, then why he is not in the deity? So in the deity, it's just like air is everywhere. Still, under the fan you get more air. Yes or not? So we can say fan is everywhere. The air is everywhere. Why do you need a fan? Now, that's about why do we need. Prabhupada can decide. You take air like Prabhupada. Prabhupada can decide, I will blow under this fan more air. More mercy I will blow. That means he resides there, means he is saying, you offer me arati, you offer me bhoga, all these things you offer, you serve me. I am living here, you serve me. So devotees with great shraddha, when they offer that, then they feel that they are with Prabhupada. He is not missing in that sense. He is missing from Bangalore, but he is less missing in Radha Damodar. And why I say is less missing? Because he will not be missing when he was here on this earth. That again is different. That way he is not living in Radha Damodar. That sense. He is not walking, talking, directing everybody or actively, as a founder Acharya is directing everybody's, meeting the disciples and directing everything. No, he is not doing. That way he is missing. So in another form he has said, you come here, you pray, I am here. When I am here, then just like you have a very serious problem, if you don't have anything, then you go to Radha Damodar, sit before Prabhupada and talk to him. You will get answers. So specific ways that devotees desire. Just like Lord Kapila, Lord is all pervading. Still Lord Kapila, that ashram, if you go, you will get special potency. Yesterday we discussed that. All these tirthas. Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you told that Vastu means no change. Vastu means no change. Body as a changes, happens, so it is not a Vastu. So similarly we have a consciousness, there is a changes in the consciousness. We can change our consciousness, elevate our consciousness. Can we say it is not Vastu?
The content of your consciousness is changing. Consciousness is not changing. Your consciousness is emanating from your soul. Awareness is emanating from the soul. But what you become conscious, seer does not change, seen is changed. Seer is me, table is seen. This will change, but the seer is not changing. Just because we have identified with our contaminated consciousness, we are thinking, I am changing. You are identifying with the contaminated consciousness. Contaminated consciousness itself, source is consciousness, and contamination is from the material world. So conscious energy, that just sunlight, sun and sun rays. Similarly, my contaminated consciousness is a rays coming from me, mixing with the material influence, and I am looking at it, I am saying I am that. So consciousness is the energy that is coming. Contaminated consciousness is created out of the conscious energy that is coming from the soul. Thinking, feeling, willing, desiring, identifying, these are all faculties of the spirit. Where you apply your thinking, you apply on something, I can think of this, I can think of this, I can think of that. So the content is not you, but the thinker is you. I say I am this body. Identifier is me. The identity that I take is not me. Similarly, feeling. The feeling, I have the faculty of feeling. But what is the content of my feeling? I can feel sad, I can feel happy, I can feel envious, I can feel lusty. So lust, envy, all these things are in the field. But you are the one who feels ultimately. So you can either feel by the influence of the internal energy, or you can feel by the influence of the external energy. When you read Prabhupada's books, then you are directing your thinking, feeling and willing. Content is what? Internal energy. So that's why we have to be in association with the Shabda of Prabhupada. Read every day. Then our chitta becomes pure. The content you are changing. Anything else?
So Prabhupada told that we can have his association by following his instructions. So also this sloka is telling that Prabhupada is living eternally in Radha Damodara temple. So is it mean for the Prabhupada is helping for neophytes to take advantage from that place, or like people who are unable to live with the Prabhupada's instructions, live by his instructions, for them it is a special concession Prabhupada is giving like that, this place of Radha Damodara temple?
Yeah, suppose you say that Prabhupada is living here, so I don't want to go and preach, I want to be in Radha Damodar. Prabhupada, who is living there, will tell you, go out and preach. If you want to come once in a year, take my blessing and go and preach, he will say. So, just because Prabhupada says, I'll eternally live there, it is one of his, suppose Prabhupada wishes that, okay, let's say when he was on this planet, he said, next few days I'll be in Chennai, he'll say. The fact, next few days he's in Chennai. If you have any urgent business, you can go to him, you can talk to him. But otherwise, you should be doing your preaching, following his instructions, carrying out his instruction. So spiritual life means varieties of pleasing the spiritual master. If you are sitting there, Prabhupada will ask, why are you sitting in Radha Damodar temple? Go and preach. He will tell. That is what the Goswamis here are discussing, and meeting is going on about preaching, and instead of serving them, why you are sitting here? So the goal is not that we don't go and sit and do bhajan there. But once in a while, we can go and do bhajan there. Charge your batteries. You can do that. That facility is also, we are creating there. Devotees can go there, can be there for 3 days, do puja, seva, and chant 64 rounds. But don't change the rule. Come back and then do 64 rounds here. I have no preaching, I can't preach, I want to chant 64 rounds. Prabhupada said, preach. Time will come. When you are unable to preach, go and sit and do 64 rounds. Kirtaniya Sadahari, that form of kirtan. Everything that we do is kirtan. Preaching is kirtan. Building temple is kirtan. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.